Morning, everybody. Take deep breath.
A girl draws a picture of a dress
and becomes kingly in her substitutions.
I draw a candle shadow
And like a scar
on your ribs. Please hold still.
The reception can wait.
The toy trucks and their drivers in wet cement.
Can wait.
A true offer
Made a fence.
incarnate.
By now, the dazzle of our girls'
It
comeuppance
doesn't rasp, pilfering a speedballer's
in
lime.
the hotel lobby.
It can't even kiss the windshield.
Good morning.
Christmas is bad
In a
dresses.
shop window.
And the fat lamp
In room 686.
gets fatter.
On a new kind of classical music.
A chandelier
To the
crashes
marble floor.
in the film.
A canister of dried mercury.
In your coat pocket makes it onto the plane.
What poem wouldn't overwhelm the backyard in its
Blistering music. Loudness was never
a landing pad. Several notes erupt from a broken mandolin.
like blue smoke and settle.
Just below the chandelier.
Wax falls onto the sheets.
In a basement bedroom.
The alchemist is busy bending paper.
On the white squares, die-cast figurines of every lover you've ever left.
A red light bristles up from an opening in the earth.
I know this hissing.
From the way lethargy leaks over the pasture.
It gets into our feelings.
There's lava in the tin pail.
The softest music deranging the proper technique for dunking its mules.
Distance is not something to believe in.
And yet you are so far from the image of yourself.
Tomorrow returns as fumbling elegies.
Pulled from apple beer.
Locates our vanished Appaloosa
Closing up around the airy heart
of this camera's dust.
and takes a mountain apart.
Sparrows shoot over the white earth.
A candlelit silhouette keeps the prisoner from his loneliness.
In an office 10 flights above,
You badger the investigator's secretary for a date.
you say, double feature,
Mummies and shit. And her cheeks won't blush.
She won't even look up from the legalese,
What you have is an apology
twining through a leash.
for the dogs in our garden.
Winter turns birds to a bird-shaped absence in the air.
Summer will harden the light into bricks.
As all evening it was afternoon, and the misnamed boy
Tumbles from the sounds ascribed to his future.
book a room in the butcher's soliloquy
To hear these sounds give their entrails a balcony seat.
for the first showing.
And you're halfway to cleaning your instruments.
sign a
And
lease.
you're gonna have to
Chop tripe and race rabbits with the maintenance man's son until your drapes are rinsed of sheep tick powder.
seabirds circling like the vague theme of an altered photograph. The first volume in our directory of missing persons.
Daguerreotypes of their dresses and shoes.
Songs.
woven from the bone
And
dust
stagnant light.
in their attics.
The steeple
blooms from an industry.
of self-aggrandizing religious zeal. The signal is two women standing side by side before the elephant door.
Each time one of them speaks, another metric layer of sawdust pours up from the earth.
Their teeth,
Winter.
their hands,
Gauze.
eyes,
Little lions.
their jewels.
Jewels.
If a tree asks to be cut into a casket,
While a man dreams of saw blades from his skinny hospital bed.
then the nameless boy's uncanny forgetfulness constellates.
A swarm of incorrect light.
Who says pleasure means?
You've been weaned too early for your own good.
Our private animals are not guardians of tenderness.
Water bristles into snowy radio wires.
Until the pigeon boys ready their pencils.
Draw a train tunnel under the kitchen wall like a huge mouse hole.
Is this a part for touching?
Or a touching part.
The last car,
On the last train,
like a tinted memory.
carves a new set of tracks. I am busy counting dots.
in the iris of a black bear.
in our perfect block of ice.
What you need are thicker curtains
A mattress and trapdoor, a machine,
to address your enemies.
some pollen dusts a little stream from the moon,
Even though gravity is said to pull our boats
like broken flowers.
away from each other.
There are no boutiques to adorn the cloud hackle,
Sky jellied with magenta.
watery blood, gobs of marmalade.
The hand with a small pool of cocaine.
Won't send the haggler's weird methods to his dead father's threshing floor.
What happens to the train yard and ocean cutting tools?
Is what history bequeaths to petrified birds,
in the upper branches of an oak's husk.
the one glued to the ground.
Before our burned out capital. A swallow flits across the painting,
Gets tangled, breaks.
like a key in the lock.
A carriage house ghost,
Begins with a reminder
jotted on the back of a photograph of dead
and
relatives.
ends in its illegibility.
That was our life.
Sunken turmoil in the tool shed is
Is
a
a
tool
tool
shed.
shed.
There was nothing out back.
Until the bellhop, stinking of gin,
Put in a call to our wandering ghost.
breath of unmemory,
A ledger of names in the projection booth.
a bottle cap,
In place of one of the black pawns.
a man drinking from a plastic cup,
Rusty courtesy, so chivalrous,
below the sugary smell.
of decline.
A child is 2 parts wonder.
1 part glass.
I'm trying to give you a real house,
Full of real people.
but recollection
A
builds
makeshift dome.
out of your snow angel strategy
And an aspirin drink.
for the music that will bruise you in its bitterness,
An army of cellos.
for the sentence,
A life is shrunken into.
a flowery
Which
voice,
speaks it.
and a syllable whose walls,
Cast indelible shadows.
on this quotable,
Dusk.
metaphors mix in last cognac.
When intermission lights flicker above the urinals.
100 different painters interpret this.
But none equal the way you've startled afternoon's sputtering engine.
It's good.
It felt like alive towards the end, like the last
Yeah.
couple ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
should, we,
yeah.
should we do it again from a
You
different
want-
angle, or?
You want to do some other angle?
No, no.
Let me turn this one off and look at it really quick.